Hey guys, this is Miniman. Just want to show you a couple barrel mechanic things that I'm working on with GP. With the new spell, Powder Keg, in case you don't know what it is, you can read the tooltip here, but the main basics of the spell are that you place a Powder Keg, it degenerates to 1 health, and at 1 health, you can destroy it with either a Q or an auto attack, and when you destroy it, it procs your auto attack in an AoE that ignores armor and slows enemy champions. It's a little bit extra damage. Oh, it slows in general, but it slows enemy champions as well as minions. So there you go, like let's say I kill this barrel, it'll deal a lot of damage to him. I put one here. And that's how it works. Now, the thing that's a little, not disappointing, but you have to realize about the E is it's very mediocre early game. I don't recommend using it in early lane phase. I would show you guys how mediocre it is, but it speaks for itself. If you play GP on the PBE, and when you play him when the rework drops, you're going to realize that just putting the barrel down early game and just waiting for it to tick down, it takes about 5 seconds. That's really, really slow. Now, this actually ranks up, in case you don't see here at the bottom of the tooltip, the keg's health decay every 1 second, but the decay rate increases to a much faster rate at level 7 and 13. So those are big power spikes for GP. Level 7, you're usually finishing up, you're getting close to finishing your first item. Usually you're going to finish up around level 6 and 7 in a solo lane. You're going to be getting to about 80 to 100 farm, depending on how well you farmed or what your lane opponent was. And then at level 13, or level 13, you're going to be hitting your second power spike, which is a ridiculously fast scaling barrel. Like I'm about to hit 13 here. We'll show you how fast it takes about, let's say about 3 seconds currently. Let's rank up to level 13 and I'll show you what I mean by how fast they rank up. So let's actually count that. So how long does it take to charge currently? If we put this barrel down, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, about 3 seconds. So once we reach level 13, let's rank up the barrels. Now we have a fully ranked second barrel. Massively faster. So I still think GP is going to function best as a solo lane champion because he scales so well with levels now. His passive is amazing with levels. His Q is good. Once he has farm, he's amazing. He has his ultimate. He's a fantastic team fighter now, and now he can farm a little easier because of this spell. But you don't want to just spam this early. You don't want to rank it up early if you're having a tough lane. I think W is still a good spell to max because of the reduced cooldown. You don't want to spam this. It is very deniable. It is very counterplayable. And a lot of smart enemy players are going to deny it, are going to realize that this is where a lot of his strength comes from, and if he just puts them out there, I can just deny them. Champions with gap closers, champions that are ranged, like mages, like Ari or something, champions that have very good, very fast auto attack speed, such as a Master Yi, or an Udyr, or an Aurelia, somebody's going to get in your face, a Jax, are going to be able to deny these very easily. And you might be able to make some plays, like I might put this out there and then the Udyr tries to go hit it and he hits it once, but I auto-attacked it at the same time, so it'll hit him. And that's fine. But you can't rely on that. It's not 100% slam dunk, hey, it's going to win me the trade. What you want to do is you want to farm up for your level 13 power spike as we've just hit here. You want to have at least 1 item finished. You want to be able to use the passive, the E, and a Sheen proc item such as Trinity Force or Gauntlet in conjunction. You want to be able to put all these together and get a lot of combos off by using your passive and resetting it with the barrel to do a lot of damage very quickly. This is not only good for dueling and fighting, this is very good for pushing. We're going to show you right now. See how far away we are from the inhib? Let's actually just try to push the mid lane out, shall we? When you have ranked up CDR, you do something like this. You have the barrel charging very fast, and I only have 1 CDR item. Combined with my masteries, I have 25% CDR right now. That's not amazing. What you want to do when pushing is actually use 1 barrel per wave. You want to save up so you have at least 2 barrels when you reach a tower, and then you want to go from there. And you also want to have 2 barrels around just in case a team fight breaks out or somebody wants to fight you, because you can use those 2 barrels to reset. Let's say this Malphite's coming after me. I can put my barrels in the lane he's going to chase and use them as a kiting technique. I just procced it there. And of course, I can actually use this as a dueling technique too, because not only does it give me the slow and the damage on him, even if he has a lot of armor, it gives me the passive reset. So I can put my barrel down, I can fight him, and then I can proc the barrel again, and then I get my passive again. There were 2 true damage procs right there, and then I can use it as a kiting tool by still moving ahead of him with all the movement speed I get on top of Trinity Force, and just be very fast. Now, this Malphite actually has a Sunfire and a Durant Shield. Now, that's actually not super tanky, but it is relatively tanky. The main thing this passive gives you, on top of your E, with the reset, is the ability to keep chaining barrels and chaining damage with your passive. You have to get in an auto attack. You have to be able to keep using your spells and keep doing that. That's why I think CDR and AD have become more important, because your passive is much more crucial to your kit. It's a very long cooldown passive. It's every 15 seconds. That's ridiculous. However, If you have early CDR, it's very easy to proc the passive. So here we go versus this Udyr. He wants to come and fight me. He's running at me. We use the barrels to keep moving away from him, but we want to put the barrels almost in front of us so we can just keep moving and keep proccing the passive. He's just going to keep doing that, but with the addition of our Trinity Force, we can just keep kiting him. He's a very fast champion. He's a very armored champion. But if we just keep putting the barrels there, he has to keep making that decision. And even if he might attack them, now we have our passive, and we might have Ignite, and he's dead. It's very good about turning around fights and things like that. Okay, he's not actually dead. That's kind of embarrassing. Hey, whatever. But the concept remains the same. You want to have early movement speed, so Trinity Force is still amazing. You want to have the ability to kite them into barrels and have them keep chasing you. This can be a lot harder with champions with gap closers, because I think you can... oh no, you can't gap close to the Q. The only champions that can gap close to these spells are champions with targeted dashes that are targeted to units. Who I mean by that is Jax and Katarina. Jax does damage to it, I believe. I'm not sure. And I think Katarina doesn't. But you can't just... You can't gap close to these in a standard way. Like, I can't use Xin Zhao Gap Closer or Aurelia Gap Closer. But I can use auto attacks. I think Aurelia's might work, actually, because hers counts as an auto attack. The only way these get popped is with auto attacks. They do not get popped by abilities. They do not get popped by anything like that. So, once you reach mid-game, as I said, you reach a power spike at level 13. You want to use your barrels to farm, but you also want to use them in a pushing sense. You don't just want to use... This is kind of what you don't want to do. You don't just want to go, hey, fucking 3 barrels, make sure I get all the minions, man. You don't want to do that. It might be pretty, and it might be fun. But the fact that they recharge, and the fact that you have an ammo system, kind of beguiles. You really want to be able to kind of just use 1 per wave so you can keep them pushed, so you can keep them stocked up. Like, I can just keep doing that, maybe 1 per wave. If I have a Gauntlet or I have a Tiamat, it'll be even easier to push these, so those items are good also. And also, I think Gauntlet's really efficient because of the AoE it provides, and the kiting potential it provides on top of the barrels, as we showed you, because it leaves a slow field also on top of just slowing the enemies. So usually when you're farming, the most you want to do is 2 barrels at once, but you usually just want to use that, use your Sheen procs anyway, and then put a barrel up in the minion wave. Yeah, this Malphite's going to come for us, I guess. And then use the movement speed to just kind of escape. This Malphite's probably still going to kill me. And notice how fast the movement speed is, because when you kill a unit, it does give you the Trinity Force Rage passive. It also gives you the one from Cleaver. So if you're trying to kite here, it's very easy to just bam. And look how much distance I just made from that Malphite. It's an extremely good extended engagement tool for this reason. So I think GP could be built tanky in the same way. But the main thing you want to use it for, as I said before, is pushing. So we're going to try to show you that now. Let me actually kill some enemy champions here, and then we'll get into actually how you're pushing with it. Let's say, for example, you've got your mid-games item up. I actually would recommend flat AD more than I would recommend... versus an enemy team like this, I would actually recommend going a secondary AD item rather than crit chance. I think Shiv is actually a lot worse now, even though it does proc AoE damage. It's not fantastic for being close, and you really want to be close as GP right now. So I'd say items like that, and then you maybe go this and do a Frozen Heart. I think that's kind of a better option these days. But what you want to do is you want to maintain range and use your barrels in a sense like this when you're versus a team that's maybe sieging. You want to put 1 barrel near yourself so your enemy can't deny it, and then chain it to another barrel over here. So not only can you get a faster proc, you can get a proc that's a little safer, because, hey, they maybe didn't deny the other barrel fast enough. Maybe you put the barrel here so they can't deny it, and then you put another barrel there, so it doesn't matter. And also, it procs even if it has multiple charges, it's going to die that way. So I put the barrel here to peel for myself. Udyr comes over to fight us. We use that barrel to kind of peel off of him. We keep using it. We have all our CDR now, so we can use our barrels. Maybe we want to poke them over the wall. Didn't get the chance to because they were too fast. Now we've got our passives, so we can fight this Malphite. And we've got CDR and some MR, so we can keep fighting him. We keep putting that. We put this ahead of him. We auto-attack, so it'll give us the movement speed boost. Maybe if we wanted to chase those guys over there. And we knight him. I don't know what Udyr's doing, but okay. Use that movement speed to keep chasing Udyr. I think he might get away, though, if he has mana. But even if you're chasing somebody, you want to put the barrel as far as you can, and then use the auto attack with the movement speed boost and Trinity Force to keep chasing him. If I had more barrels there chained, I might have been able to chase him all the way into his base. However, as I said, pushing is the primary reason for this spell. And with that said, we want to focus on keeping about 2 barrels up per 2 barrels up at any given time, so we can just clear out a wave immediately and do that. I actually can't really do it in the mid lane because they have super creeps pushing, but we'll go bot lane and show you. For example, let's say you're wandering around mid game. You don't have a whole lot of CDR, but you have some, and you have Trinity Force. You'll be able to push lanes very quickly. I'll show you, for example, here on this big old minion wave. Like I said, you want to keep at least 2 barrels up at a time. But if you're in a lane like this, where there's actually a whole lot of minions, you can do that. Every minion wave, you kind of want to go over it, draw aggro, bunch them all up into one, and then use the passive to kind of kill it, and then keep moving. You want to keep doing that so your minion wave will get bigger. It's actually better to do this and leave a couple creeps there to block up your minion wave so it gets bigger, instead of just killing all the minions that are there. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to have 3 barrels here, so I'm just going to keep moving. I'm going to bunch all these up right here. Do that. I don't even have any AoE items. AoE items make this even faster. Gauntlet, Tiamat, things like that. So we're pretty far up in the lane now, and now my lane's got a couple more minions than it would have had initially. And now we have 3 barrels, so we can just keep proccing them. So we're gonna put 1 barrel here, 1 barrel here. We're gonna do that. Keep pushing. And now I'm gonna show you the main mechanic you want to focus on when using the barrels to push, which is actually resetting your passive. Your passive actually works on towers, so the main thing you want to do when you're getting ready to fight a tower is to use it, auto attacks, then put out your tower. This will reset your passive. Cue the barrel, reset your passive again, and just keep doing it. Notice how fast the tower pushing power there was, and I don't even have a whole lot of AD. I'm only rocking about 244 right now, which isn't an obscene amount. The passive does not work on inhibitors, it does not work on the Nexus, so when you're at that situation, you don't actually... See, look, I'll show you. It does not proc on those, you will get the auto attack, it will stay. But you don't want to use it when you get to the inhib like that. You just mainly want to focus on putting them for zoning. Let's say they're going to come over here, I'll put those out there, and I'll just keep pushing that way. When you're using the barrels, always try to keep 2 up, because you want to use them for self-kiting, as we showed you. You want to use them for disengage, you want to use them for poke and zoning. But when you're actually trying to siege versus enemies, like let's say we're back here, and we're in our base, and the enemies are pushing into our base. When you're using the barrels, and you're in a siege situation, the best thing to do is to have, first off, you want to have CDR. If you don't have CDR, your barrels aren't going to charge very fast. They're actually going to charge very slow. Like, let's say I didn't have any CDR at all. Right now I have 25% because I have, I believe, 10% from my masteries, and I have 15% from the Boots of Lucidity. Currently, the barrels recharge at about 10 seconds a pop, which is pretty good because it gets up to a max charge of, once I have my ultimate ranked up to level 3, it's going to get up to, once I get level 17, it's going to rank up to about, I believe, 5, you have 5 barrels in your charge. But currently, they rank up, they recharge in about 10.3 seconds. So if I sold all my Lucidity items, if I sold my Lucidity boots, and I only had 10% Lucidity, they're going to recharge every 12 seconds. That's another 2 seconds on charging. That can be very important. So I heavily recommend CDR items in general. So let's say a mid-game build, if you're going like a bruiser, gangplank build, would be something like this, where you would have Frozen Heart for MR, you have Trinity Force that gives you a little bit of health. With my runes, I have a little bit more health. Malum Immortia. So this is like a bruiser build right here. This is something you might build versus a team that's very aggressive and kind of bullying you. When you have the CDR and your barrels recharge very quickly, with full CDR, it's every 8 seconds. And you're in a siege situation, it's actually not best just to put the barrel out here, wait for it to charge, and then pop it. Because most of the time in a siege situation, you're dealing with the AD carry, right? The AD carry is going to be able to pop that thing in 2 seconds, because once you're reaching late game siege, they have attack speed, they have all their items up, they're going to be able to kill it very quickly. Not only them, but mages, anybody with ranged auto attacks, anybody like that. So what you want to do instead of just putting it out here and say, hey, can you deny this really quick, Udyr? Then you really want to use the barrel in a and I call it the 2-shot pop. You want to put your barrel in a very safe position, and then use it combo with other barrels. This is why CDR is so important. So let's say I'm facing that Udyr, let's say he's right here. They're sieging the base, they're going on our turret. I want to put 1 barrel like behind our turret, so they have to... The enemy, if they're over here, let's say, in a regular siege situation, has to come forward a little bit more just to auto-attack that. Maybe if they do that and they're stupid, like, which is a really bad thing to do, they try to auto-attack that and they're susceptible to CC now. You want to put the barrel in a place where you can chain it as such. Not only that, but if you have a lot of barrels charged, the best thing about that is you can put the barrel down and then get the other barrel off sooner. Like if I put this barrel down and I put that barrel down, I can kill that barrel before it's even started to charge yet. That's the main thing you want to focus on. You want to put 1 safety barrel in the back, or 2 maybe, you can actually put 2, and then you kind of want to stagger their ranges so you can combo them into better ones. Like right now I only have 1 barrel charge. Once you get 2 barrel charges, I can just go bam, bam, bam. So before that barrel even started charging, or got to 2 charges, I was able to pop it. So if the AD carry tries to deny it, it won't work, because that auto attack they hit on it wasn't in time to get off fast enough. Maybe versus somebody like Kog'Maw or Tristana, who has a massive attack speed steroid, they'll be able to get it off sooner. But you want to be able to combo your barrels, and to do that you need CDR. So you want to just be able to, let's say in a siege situation, like I said, put a barrel or 2 out, kind of wait it out. Let's say I'm poking, I'm kind of dodging back and forth, I'm looking for CC, I'm using my W, I'm trying to stay alive. If a tank comes forward, you slap him with your passive to deal a little bit of burst. But then let's say the AD carry steps a little too close, you put out the 2 barrels, and bam. I didn't do it that fast right there, but that's the whole concept, is that you want to be able to drop them really quick, because the cast time is pretty fast, and you want to be able to do that. So, as I showed you, you push by using your barrels, resetting your passive, you chase and kite by putting your barrels in the way you're going, because even though you have a half stop, if you combine the passive with your Trinity Force passive Rage, you're extremely fast on top of that. Not only that, but movement speed items in general. Trinity Force is one. Crit items such as PD are one. You can use this as actually a method to move across the map faster as well. And then when you're fighting champions, you want to use them, you want to stagger them as a dueling mechanic. Like I have my passive charge, I want to smack him with the passive, put the barrel over here, wait for him to come after me, cleanse that, now I have the passive again, use that again, put this up, got that, now I can kind of flash kite, ignite with my passive, a lot of true damage, and he's dead. So that's the kind of thing you want to focus on. You want to stagger your barrels to reset your passive, and you want to always be thinking of the extended chase. You don't just want to use them, oh, I'm going to put this over here and burst them with my crit, oh my god, it's so good. You want to stagger them. You want to have 2 or 3 up at a time. You want to be able to fight. You want to be able to continue fighting. And you want to be able to kind of wait for your chance to go in. That has not changed with GP's playstyle. It has actually become better because this gives him a secondary technique with which to chase enemies. Okay, I hope this was informative. I'm sorry I got so long-winded about it. But it's a very complex ability, and I think your ability as a player to use it and mechanically use it is going to be very important going forward as a GP player. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.